Hi Kenneth, hi everyone. My name is Alain Van Dinh, but everyone calls me Alan. I'm a German-born Vietnamese. 13 years ago in 2008, I decided to move to Vietnam and start my own business here. So I started out as a club promoter in Nightlife and also founded a club with my current partner and the founder of Sipher, our NFT gaming project that we're currently doing. Great to be here.
Welcome to The Vietnamese. I'm your host, Kenneth Nguyen. Being part of a culture of nearly 100 million Vietnamese people in the world today comes with a lot of pain, proud history, and privilege. Join me as I highlight and explore the Vietnamese experience from all over the world. What does it mean to be Vietnamese to you nowadays?
Vietnamese nowadays. Okay. If someone would have told me I would end up in Vietnam 20 years ago, I would say okay, you're crazy. Because I grew up very, like a banana, right? From the outside is yellow, inside is pretty white. I was surrounded by German friends when I grew up in kindergarten, elementary school, primary school. And I think it was until the age of 12 when my dad tried to force me and my brother to take Vietnamese lessons. But we were too lazy, going to school or to class every Sunday, a half an hour drive. And we were like, nah, we don't need Vietnamese. We live in Germany, and who do we talk to? And you guys understand us anyways, right? If we're hungry, we say, mẹ đói bụng. If we need money, ba cần tiền. That's it.
So you were born in Germany?
Yeah, Cologne, Köln.
In Cologne. So when you were growing up and your father at 12 years old said, hey, let's enroll you in a Vietnamese class, why did he decide to do it so late?
I think before, we lived in a very small town. I was born in Cologne, but we moved to a small town in the south called Van Dinh, and not a big of a Vietnamese community there. I think we may be around 3 Vietnamese families, and that's about it. And to get to the bigger cities where they have these Vietnamese communities, it's a half an hour drive. And I guess my dad was quite busy back in the day, so yeah.
When you were growing up till 12, I mean, what did you think? Did you think that there was a difference between you and the kids that you were growing up around that were not Vietnamese, or were you just sort of you're part of the community and they didn't make fun of you, or things were relatively easy for you?
Yeah, things were easy until the age of 12, puberty, when puberty hit.
Yeah.
Before that, I was very liked between my friends and in class. So yeah, always hung out with everyone, get along very well. And yeah, I felt like I'm being one of them. And it's just my outer appearance, people from the outside sometimes oh yeah, make fun of me, people on the streets, oh, ching chang chong and all that stuff.
Yeah, in Germany, huh?
Yeah. But I I didn't get too upset with it back in the days because I felt pretty much German. So let them think whatever they want to think. I know who I am. Yeah.
Yeah. Feel German today?
Sorry?
You still feel German today?
Oh, it's tough to say after living in Vietnam for 13 years. I think it's a part of you. You were born there, you grew up there, yeah, almost your whole life, over half your life. And yeah, you never get rid of where your roots are. But I would say the way I think about certain things is not as German as before. It's more a mix between yeah, East meets West.
Yeah.
But for the good thing, I think I always try to take the best of both worlds. Yeah.
My problem that I talk about all the time is I feel like I'm neither Vietnamese or American, because guys like us, when you're born in the other country, another country, and the connection that you have with the motherland is so close and so tight, sometimes you're like, well, the mind, it's like a mind fuck. It's
yes, definitely.
Sometimes you're trying to figure out the identity part of it, and it's a little painful sometimes, but for the most part it's an enjoyable privilege. It's a privileged ride. But yeah, I find that for my own experience, but I'm growing out of that. It's slowly transforming.
Yeah, I totally understand it, especially for me because I came to Vietnam for the first time so late in 2004 at the age of 19, 20 already. And like most of my friends, like Vietnamese friends, they all came back to Vietnam like for vacation at least, or they grew up with the Vietnamese language or culture a little bit. At home, they spoke mostly in Vietnamese to their parents. Yeah, so for me, coming back here for the first time was like a culture shock. Like,
Yeah. What brought you back to Vietnam?
oof, long story. Where should it start? Okay, so after finishing like college, like in Germany, we there's like 13th grade. So after that, you usually do like civil services or go to the army for like 9 or 10 months. Like that's like your social service for the country as a guy. And then after that, you enroll in a university. But for me, it was like, yeah, I had to wait for my spot at university because like I applied for medicine.
Wow.
Well, yeah, more like my parents wanted me to,
Yeah.
yeah, go that path, become a doctor. But deep within, I always knew like it wasn't something for me. Yeah, but I didn't know like what I want to do with my life. I was kind of like yeah, without any direction. So my dad offered me a choice. Like when I finished college and waiting for the spot, like okay, either go to the US. I've been to the US like yeah, every year because I had a green card and my family we wanted to move there, California or Texas. But then yeah, my dad gave up with that idea. So he told me, yeah, you can spend some time in the US or you can go to Vietnam maybe. And for me, it was like, okay, it was like at a certain stage I didn't know like what to do in my life. So I said like, okay, US again. No, I think I go like to Vietnam, especially like it was when I had like my first Vietnamese girlfriend in Germany, and yeah, broke up, and then I was thinking like, okay, maybe I should see how Vietnam is to find
How
more
old were
about the
you?
country.
How old were
I
you?
was 19, 1920, yeah.
Wow. So you get to Vietnam and it's a culture shock and everything. And how long do you stay the first time?
I stayed for 10 months, yeah.
And that was that 13th year you said, right after high school
Yeah,
or after?
13th year and 1 year after, yeah.
1 year
Like,
after. So you did you do
yeah.
the army and everything?
No, well, I wouldn't say luckily because like I have like a small heart condition, so was yeah, I didn't have to enroll for that.
Got
So
it.
I had
Got it.
like much more free time, and yeah, I worked at my dad's company or factory, you can say like at Mercedes Benz, like where they manufactured the first Maybach, the famous
Oh,
one. Yeah,
really?
the flagship. Yeah, back in the day, Sindelfing, it's called. Yeah, the city.
Got it. So,
Yeah, I used to work there like 3 summers. It was good money for 6 weeks, really good money. And yeah,
w-
and with that money, I decided like, okay, I saved something up, and yeah,
you,
let's do an adventure.
so you get to Vietnam, right? And who did you have any family that you stayed with?
Yes, with my uncle, but it's not like blood related. So yeah, my dad introduced me and said like, okay, you stay with your uncle, and basically it was like the house that belonged to my grandfather from my dad's side,
Oh,
my dad's dad, yeah, that he had to gave up to leave the country and yeah, bring the family over to Europe and everything. So that's on Levan in district, Phu Nhuận, district, yeah. Yeah, so I stayed there, and my dad also told my uncle, yeah, okay, get him into Vietnamese classes. So first month, take Vietnamese classes every day for 6 hours, 4 hours during the morning, 2 hours like afternoon, homework, and like yeah, I finished like first and second grade within 30 days. Yeah.
wow. And then after you did that, did you think back like, oh my God, as a 12-year-old, I should have paid attention more?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I totally felt it. Like everywhere I went, like people knew right away. Okay, this this guy, he's from overseas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But when you first got there, right? I always wonder, like people's first time, did you like party a lot and fall into a situation where the people that you stayed with were just kind of like book boy, they were just like,
yeah,
oh, did you have like conflict with the people that you stayed with?
definitely. Because like at a young age and like having that background, like going to clubs like early in Germany at the age of 16. So yeah, at the age of 20, yeah, living with your uncle and like a curfew like 11 p.m. didn't work. So yeah, sometimes
Wow.
I came like after midnight one and I had to ring the bell and
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
So yeah,
that's
that's when
yeah.
I decided like when I met a friend there and yeah, he found me like a place to stay and yeah. In the beginning it was really funny. My dad told me about this one website, I think Vietnam Friends or online Vietnam Friends or whatever. I don't know like how he got the link, but I think like that site was mostly like for dating or something like that, or for people to make friends. I don't know, but yeah, I went up on there, yeah, create a profile. Some people messaged me and like, oh yeah, let's meet up for coffee, whatever, and then yeah,
You moved out of
went
the
up.
uncle's house.
Yeah,
And then
on my
so
own.
at this whole time, what are you thinking? Like, what am I are you gonna decide to stay to live there and create a life there?
No, not at all. I knew that I had to survive for 10 months before I can go back, or at least like 6 months. It was, I think, yeah, the visa and everything. But like, yeah, the first day was like, wow, coming out from the airport, I was like wearing like a full winter gear, like t-shirt, sweatshirt, and like a jacket. And then like, wow, it's a 40 something degrees Celsius. The humidity there, I was sweating. And like coming down and like see like all these people looking at me like, oh wow, it's like funny, like hey, like okay, how do I look, is something wrong with my face and stuff like that. And you know like how the Vietnamese airport is, like they're all waiting for, yeah, the family members
Yeah.
or someone to come home and they all stare at you.
You feel like a
And then
rock star.
yeah, yeah, or some weird zoo attraction, yeah.
Yeah.
And then like my uncle was there with like yeah, he had like this cardboard with a name on it. And yeah, I until today I still don't remember what he told me, because my Vietnamese was so bad. I
Yeah.
still don't know what he told me. And yeah, and then I knew like he was driving motorbike. And okay, he said, he told me, okay, get in the taxi. And then yeah, I gave him instructions where to bring you. And the first time I had like issues with my luggage, so somehow they lost my luggage. So okay, that was a good start. And like and I didn't know like how it is in Vietnam. Oh shit, did I lose like all my stuff right now, or
Yeah.
are they going to find it and send it me later? But my uncle, yeah, don't worry, don't worry. I'm like, okay, okay. I got all my stuff in there, but yeah, don't worry, okay. Put me in a taxi. And then like, okay, follow him. And then damn, in the taxi, the traffic. And then like I was sitting right to the door to the right, like and then like I seen all these motorbikes like driving so close to me. Then okay, shift a little bit to the left, sit in the middle. I'm like, okay, that's safer. So it was a quite a shock. Like,
Yeah.
wow, how can I
Yeah.
drive like that? Hey, you're too close.
So you're
Yeah,
living for the first time during the 10 months. Every day there has to be this thought like, what the hell am I doing with my life here?
yeah, it was kind of that. And of course, the first 3 days were really bad. Like the weather I wasn't used to. I got sick and I got stomach ache.
Yeah.
I ate something bad and like, oh, I was lying down like for one whole day. And yeah, my uncle was giving the medicine and yeah, taking care of me, the family. But I was just in bed and felt miserable.
Yeah. That
I think
happens
that
to most
happens to a
people.
lot of people. I hear that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's something about the bacteria in your stomach that is not used to the new bacteria.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what you eat. It's, and you have to like have that bacteria or whatever go into your stomach that first trip. And I was late
Yeah.
3 days the first trip.
Oh, as well. Yeah. Okay,
Three
good.
days,
Good
yeah.
to know.
Yeah. 3 days. It was terrible.
Yeah, especially with the tap water. I didn't know about it,
Yeah.
but fortunately I didn't drink out of yeah, out of it. My uncle, no, 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 you can't drink that. Like, oh, okay, okay. This is not Germany. Okay, I got it. I got it.
So that first time you decide after 10 months to go back to Germany, why did you
Uh,
leave Vietnam?
Actually, I would have stayed longer, but my dad told me like, okay, um, yeah, you should go back and like, yeah, try to enroll in a different university or like, okay, not only for medicine, but also like for maybe become a dentist. So still like a kind of a similar direction. And like, yeah, okay, all right. But yeah, I was quite sad when I left because like, yeah, I made a lot of friends here, and yeah, life was, it felt almost like paradise.
Yeah.
Yeah, like not a lot to worry about, and the money I had saved up was enough to live, and met cool people.
And
Yeah,
then
didn't fall in love really, but yeah, but I miss the people here.
yeah. So then you go back to Germany, you stay for a while. How much longer does it
Yeah.
take to get back to Vietnam?
I stayed and tried to enroll, and I think like after 6 months, like in 2005, I went back to Vietnam again for another year, another 10 months, 10 to 11 months, while waiting for another spot at university. Because like my grades in college were like okay,
Yeah.
like above average, like not as good as they need to be to get into these universities. Because like back then everyone was like, yeah, if you want to study medicine, then your grades have to be really high up because there's such a long waiting list. So yeah, the smarter you are, the quicker you get the spot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you go back to Vietnam and this time what's different?
With a game plan. Okay. The difference was like, okay, whenever I went back to Germany, I felt miserable again. Okay. Was in my room. My room is in the cellar. Like I have a whole cellar for myself. And I pretty much spent my whole time in there and like just like chatting with my friends in Vietnam, miss Vietnam, play games, yeah, watch anime, movies, and all that stuff, and
Mhm.
play games. And yeah, like online games, MMORPGs, like one specific one, like Ragnarok Online, like the Europe server. I played it, yeah, for almost half a year and grinded it up. And then I decided, okay, I quit, but I spent so much time, so I want to do something with that. Then I checked on eBay.de, the German eBay, the European eBay, and then I see like, wow, there are like over 300 results for this game. Okay, people are selling their account, their items, their in-game currency, and all that stuff. And I said, okay, wow. Actually, the 6 months made me 200 something euros. Okay, better than nothing. And then I looked into ways like, okay, that's interesting. So I know I played for that long. I know like how to get the best loot and make the most money in game. And I thought like, okay, look up on Google, find like some bots, some programs where you put in parameters and it does everything for you automatically. You set like waypoints and yeah. So I tried that, and yeah, it generated some income for me, and I was like, okay, not bad. But then the issue was like my account got banned by a GM guild master. And yeah, then I had to talk to support, and they said like, okay, we caught you botting. And like, oh, why? I didn't do anything. Yeah, we have like the log, and it's very suspicious. Yeah, so we put you in jail. And like, okay, for how long? Yeah, 1 month. I'm like, oh shit. And then like with the money, I bought another account and then tried to be outsmart the system. But
Wow.
yeah, and find some ways to avoid jail, like in-game jail. But yeah, after like 1 or 2 months, they found out and put me in jail again. So
Oh, wow.
okay, I like, okay, whatever. I just keep the accounts until they are freed up again, not being in jail anymore. Then when I came to Vietnam, and yeah, I talked to my friend about that, and he said like, hey, you should find some students who want to earn some extra money. And like, yeah, they would do that. How much would it cost? And he said like, yeah, 500,000 Vietnam dong. I was like, what? That cheap? It was like 20 euros. I'm like, no, I want good ones. Yeah, introduce me good ones. I paid him double. He's like, what? 1 million? That's a lot of money, man. That's like more than the average wage back then in
Yeah.
2005. I was like, yeah, but I need to trust them, because they have access to my account and everything. And yeah, I found like two young kids, 15, 17, I think they were. And yeah, they were like really hyped up. They're like, oh yeah, we love playing games. And yeah, we don't know this game yet. Can you show us how it works? And like, yeah,
But
I had like a session with them.
why wouldn't they go out and do it you know, and set up their own account to do and make their own money eventually.
Because the game was very niche and European server, everyone was speaking English and like Spanish, Italian, French, German, and like they had to sell like on eBay Europe and all that stuff. It
Very
was
complicated.
very complicated for local Vietnamese to do that back then.
How long did
But
you do that
still,
for?
oh, I did it for the whole year, like while in Vietnam. Yeah, like
And
6 months longer.
how much money did you make per month? I mean, net profit.
Okay, I paid like one person 1 million, like 40 euros, and one person made me like 450 euros, so 400, yeah, 10 times. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. That's why I believe in play to earn in crypto now, because I
Mm.
did it like the old-fashioned way. And I wanted to expand, and I tried to explain to my dad, and like Vietnamese parents are like, no, games, waste of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't get you anywhere. And then like yeah, and in 2006, 2007, like that article came out, like Chinese gold farmers in World of Warcraft create a 1 billion US dollar market. I was like, oh, Dad, I told you.
Did he
Yeah.
change his mind after that?
Uh, a little bit. Yeah, my dad is like the kind of person. I don't believe in it. He's like more skeptical.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
because like where he comes from. Yeah.
yeah. So with two people, why not do 10 people? Why not hire 10 kids to
Yes,
really, yeah.
there was the idea, but like I said, like the issue back then was all manual, so I had to. It was in District 8. I stayed in District 8 at my friend's place, and like there was like a net cafe, internet cafe where kids go and play or use the internet. And yeah, I went there and talked to the owner. Like, I want these two machines in the corner for 1 whole month booked out, so no one can touch it, because I installed a game and like all these programs on there to check. And like, yeah, and there will like two guys come and play every day. Please, yeah, check if they play or not and report to me. Yeah, I gave him like 100,000 to do that, like extra. It was like €4. Yeah, like $5. Not even, no, $6. Yeah. And yeah, I had to make sure that they do the work. And every day I still have to check on the account. Okay, how much did they loot? And yeah, put back into storage. And then I had to set up the storage manually, switch to my merchant character. Only the merchant can sell stuff. So you switch to a merchant character, and depends on the level, how high level you are, you can list like 6 items or up to 10. Fortunately, I had a high level, so 10 items, and find a good spot in the city, in the virtual city, where people can see me a lot. And for the stuff I'm selling, it's like each corner like sells different stuff, so you have to find your spot.
Man, this is
And
crazy. You're like describing, for somebody like me, it's like almost like you're describing the metaverse, right?
yeah, it was kind of like back in days, all these online games, MMORPGs, they all have their own world. They basically all have their own metaverse, and you have like your game character and all that stuff. But only difference is like, okay, you are not the game character and you don't own the character. So whenever the game developer decides, okay, we shut the server down, it's gone. You lose everything. All the years you spent, gone. Nothing you can do
Wow.
about it. Yeah.
And that happens quite often?
Yeah, I played a lot of games that were quite good. Some I lost interest, and some they just shut down because of player inactivity or whatever. Or yeah, some were doing good, but still they shut down because they got acquired by someone else, and they changed like things, and then the community didn't like it, and everyone left. And yeah, all of a sudden you spent like so much time in with games. And then my dad was right. Then yeah, it's a waste of time
But if you're
unless you
making,
can.
yeah, if you're making a living and you're making real money, then it's not really a waste of time. It's just like a
Yeah.
business you operate for a few years and you go to another one, right?
Yes, there was a business, and also like a good business, because like I remember like I think his name was Tuan. Yeah, like one of the kids who played for me, not a kid, 16, but yeah, he one day he told me like, hey, my dad wants to talk to you. And like, oh shit, all right, I'm in trouble. The dad is going to, yeah, scold me like, hey, what are you doing with my son? Like yeah, why does he get all that money? But then it was all cool. Like yeah, his dad wanted to thank me for giving his son an extra income, and it didn't interfere with his studies, so that was good. He played like 6 to 8 hours, 6 days a week, but still had time to study and make 1 million Vietnamese dong, while his dad made 750, 700, so 50% more than his dad.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so and yeah, and he was able to help out his family, his parents, just by playing a game for me. And while he was making me money, and while the money was coming like from Europe, Germans and people in Europe who have the reasoning. Okay, I talked to like one guy. He was like a regular customer. Like every week, he even came to my home, where I lived with my parents on Hoitling. Like he drove there and like rang the bell, and I like, hey, I want to do a transaction. And like, oh, okay. Then yeah, sure. Give you like 10 minutes. I transfer the funds, and then I talked to him like, how come that you buy like every week and stuff? And it was kind of sad, and also like interesting to hear from him. Like the way he explained it to me was like he has like a very boring job, and what he does in his job, like, okay, he doesn't get along with his coworkers. Yeah, doesn't get any respect. But in game, he was like a guild leader. Yeah, he was leading a guild like 50 people almost, and respected every time he comes online. Everyone is greeting him and like, hey, what's up? And like, hey, what's the agenda? What's the plan? When is the next guild wars and stuff? And he felt like, wow. So he told me like he enjoys the second life, the virtual life, more than his real life. That's why like whatever he makes with his job, he spends in the game, because it gives him more joy. He doesn't have the time to level up because of his job, but in game, he can keep up with everyone and be a good leader. So that was kind of, very interesting. Yeah.
So interesting. I have kids that work for me and we talk about this all the time. When is it in history that we are going to completely switch over to enjoying the second life more than the original life?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's
Back then, there
coming.
was even a game like the first metaverse was called Second Life, if you remember that game.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had a friend who was like really into it, and like him and his girlfriend designed like some stuff. They created some assets and sold it in game for dollars, Linden dollars or something like that. And yeah, there was like you could like exchange it for real money, for real USD again, and all that stuff. Yeah, there was the very first metaverse. I only like read into it, but I never got started. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, I didn't want to live like a real life, like in a virtual space. In a virtual space, I want to play games, fight, or do fun stuff, game stuff.
Now this is when our conversation to me gets very interesting because I had no idea you came from that background first. And then it was the clubbing and the actual real world. Because now what I'm hearing is like, I thought you were just a party guy. You go back to Vietnam, then you get involved in the nightlife and you become more in the club space and in the real world. But knowing that you come from this very virtual space and then you come over and you transition in the club space, I mean, there has to be similarities and differences. So can we talk about that?
Yeah, basically, I had like a lot of childhood dreams. I think the first one, like when I was like 6, was become a football player, like soccer player.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was quite good, like technical and speed wise. But yeah, height, I lacked in height and strength. And my dad, like typical Vietnamese parent, like, no, you can't compete with like Germans and all that stuff. They're all stronger and stuff. But I almost got into like, playing like in a club. Yeah. So really wanted to follow the dream. But yeah, my mom had a heart condition. She got surgery. I inherited it. So yeah, when the doctor told me like, you can't play football for a living or on a professional level. You can't do it like for 1 hour straight. I'm like, oh shit, okay, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
So it was kind of sad, very sad about that. But then like afterwards, I think age 14, 15, I I discovered a new passion. It was like dancing. Someone I really got in dance back in the days. Like I grew up with Michael Jackson all the time, like watching and really like admiring him, like the music and his moves and all this stuff, and try to imitate and all this stuff. And
Mhm.
somehow, the music and dancing. That's why like me and some friends, we started going out to clubs at the age of 16. And you're not a full grown up in Germany. 16, you can go to certain clubs with ID that you're 16, but you have to leave before midnight.
Right.
Yeah, but we always tried it at the age of 15 already. It was a fun story. We we got on our bicycles. We rode our bicycles at night, like at 8 p.m., like to a different city, like for over half an hour, like 45 minutes to try to get into the one club called Cinderella, I think, very small club at the age of 15. And sometimes the bouncers, okay, they're cool, okay, don't check ID really. But for me, it was always an issue, like Asian genes, like always look young, like,
Young.
hey, wait, are you, you can't be 16, where's your ID? And like, oh, you're 15, okay, sorry, you can't go in. And then like, okay, drive 45 minutes back home in the middle of the night, like through the fields. It's really funny, but yeah, it
That's
was
crazy.
worth it. And and with that stuff, like going partying a lot and slowly discovering like Asian parties, like in Germany, like sometimes they are like Asian communities, they throw like these kind of parties for Asians, Chinese, Vietnamese, Filipinos, and all that stuff. And it was a lot of fun to see other people.
Yeah.
Then I got slowly moved from like being German like to more Asian.
Mm.
At the age of 15, 16, that was a switch kind of.
Yeah. Yep. Happens. So,
Yeah.
when you're in Vietnam and you're doing the video game work for a year, are you going out and partying at the
Yeah.
same time?
Yeah. Because it was all automated. So I let the kids play, and I went out like almost every night, every
Yeah.
day. Like my schedule was like during the day, play bowling with friends, some celebrities, sometimes for money and all that stuff. And at night we went to eat and then clubbing. And every day, almost every day, like the same. Yeah, starting from 1 2 p.m. till like 2 a.m. Yeah,
Good years.
yeah. But thinking back of that, actually, like, I don't know how I did it, but yeah, it was
Yeah.
interesting, fun.
So you start going out to all these clubs, right? And at what point do you say, I'm going to get involved in this business?
Not back then, because I was just like party goer, like just a customer, and the clubs didn't feel really like fun to me. Everyone was sitting around with the cognac bottles, and like I was like, where's the vodka? And they're like, uh, we don't have vodka here. They're like, what? Okay, there was like in 2005, of course, like there was no vodka culture or white spirit culture. It was super early.
Yeah.
Everything was dominated by Hennessy, VSOP, EXO, and also Martell VSOP, EXO, so all that old stuff now. Yeah. And the clubs, people sitting more and showing off their the phones, their bottles on the tables. Yeah, no one was dancing, and like when I started dancing with friends, and everyone was looking, and some were cool with it. It's like a thing, like, okay, girls they like guys who dance, of course, and like guys that don't like girls who like other guys. Okay, so there was sometimes a conflict, but it's okay. So never really got into trouble. Yeah.
Hmm. So then at what point does it become a business for you?
Nightlife. Okay. So fast forward things. So 2005, the second time I went to Vietnam, and then my dad told me again, okay, it's time. Okay, not medicine. You go to university and study business administration. The most generic thing you can do, right? If you don't know what to do with your life.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, going back, I went to Heinrich Heine University in Düsseldorf. It's close to where I was born, in the same state, close to Cologne. Met some old friends, and I tried university for 2 years, but then after that, I had to tell my dad again for the third time, sorry, Dad, I'm out of here. I have to go back to Vietnam. I have to do my own thing. I
So
can't do this.
this was you went back to university for 2 years after you
Then I dropped out. Yeah.
okay, so before you left to college in back in Dusseldorf, you already did the video game thing and hired the kid and the
Yeah, and when I left, like I told them, like, yeah, sorry, I have to go back, and yeah,
oh my God.
I didn't have to plan to let them continue, have them continue to play for me and earn me money, because back then I was kind of like yeah, kind of sad, a bit downer, and I don't know like if I can manage or watch over them, and there are like new updates, and the game was already on a downtrend. So yeah, I didn't want to put more effort in it. Okay, I'm leaving soon, and yeah, now like new updates, like new maps and all that. And yeah, I didn't want to get involved with that, and I was like, I'm going back to Germany anyways. I leave everything here behind. So yeah,
So they stopped playing.
yeah, I don't know what happened to them. It would be
Wow.
fun, like if I can meet them
Yeah,
again, but
kept
lost like
kept
all contact. Yeah, back then it was very tough to keep like contact. It was all like Yahoo Messenger, and like now my Yahoo Messenger is like all gone. Like I don't know where my account went. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That would have been interesting, right? Those kids,
yeah.
where are they
I
now? And
think they're successful. They were smart kids,
smart
definitely.
kids, it
Yeah,
sound like,
not
yeah.
worried about them. Yeah,
Yeah. But it's like, what can they do with their life after, spending that time? And sounds like
yeah.
they're very disciplined kids, like you pay for 6 hours and you study for the rest. And the
Yeah, I
father,
think because like back then, like playing games is just like fun. It still felt fun when yeah, we stopped the whole operation. When I watch them, like I still could see like they have fun playing it, even if
yeah,
it's the same map, the same monsters over and over again. It's so repetitive, but they liked it. Yeah, for them it still felt like a game, not like work. And yeah, I think
so you,
that's fun.
so now you tell your father, like, I can't do this. 2 years into this, I got to get out of college. I go back to
Yeah,
Vietnam.
after 2 years,
What
yeah,
did your
I
dad
told
say?
her. I think like for the third time he was very yeah, understanding. Yeah.
Mm,
I
wow.
think like I think I remember I told him like when we were both on the same train back yeah, to where we live, right? And then like I don't know, out of the blue, I just told him like, hey dad, I think yeah, I want to go back. I don't know like yeah, why I suddenly yeah had the courage to tell him that, but yeah, it somehow happened. And yeah,
And he said, okay.
yeah, he was like, I think he realized like there's nothing he can do about it. That's just who I am. Yeah,
Yeah. And how is the relationship with your father now?
very good. Yeah, very good.
Is he in
I
Vietnam
think
or is he still
no,
back at
he's
home?
it's still in Germany. I think like now like my dad, my parents are quite proud of me, and now they can tell like Germany is like the thing like people just like to brag about their kids. Oh, what does your son do? How much is he earn? Well, blah blah blah. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
now
but
I
I mean
think like they're quite happy. Yeah.
that's everywhere. That's in the US too.
Okay. Yeah.
Parents.
Okay.
Everybody loves to brag about their children.
Yeah.
Can't wait
The
to brag about
grades and
my
the
yeah.
jobs and stuff. Yeah.
I can't wait to brag about my children one day too.
Nice. Yeah. I have to do that as well.
Yeah, so you get back to Vietnam after you leave college. And at that point, did you have a plan?
Okay. At that point, I was being back in Vietnam with very little money. I think it was like okay, 5 grand USD, 5,000 USD. That's it. And I planned, okay, that has to last for 6 months, so less than 1,000 per month. While I still had like a job, like it was like more, it was like a sourcing agent, like finding like furniture factories like around the Ho Chi Minh City, like Bình Dương or
Yeah.
Hoc Mon and stuff. So where they all have these production factories. Yeah, and it went okay for the first 3 months, but then like economy went down, and then all of a sudden like yeah, the the person who ordered for me said like, oh sorry, tough times.
It was '07,
That was '08,
'08. Yeah.
2008. Yeah,
That's
March 2008.
destruction, mass destruction in the
Yes.
market. Yeah.
Yes, and then like I'm like, okay, okay, I have to pay rent every month. It's like $300. Okay, what do I do? And then like because I still went clubbing, and then I went to a club, one of the first hip hop clubs called Bounce. Yeah, it was by Vitai. who owned Highlands Coffee, one of the biggest and first coffee chains in Vietnam, like Starbucks back in the days. Highlands, yeah, and they owned that nightclub or small club. It was quite small, like 200 square meters maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, quite small and very young kids and stuff. And I met with the owner there, like one of the shareholders and also like managing partner overseeing things, Thomas Lim, Singaporean, a Malaysian Singaporean. Yeah, and became a club promoter, and yeah, learned a lot from him. Like, okay, how it is, like, okay, like think outside the box, not like the Vietnamese way with like the cognac and what I all used to, but then introduced to people like champagne. Back then was like Moet and Hennessy, Moet and
Mhm.
Chanel, and also like he introduced like K-pop. Like back then was
Wow.
the the big hit from Wonder Girls, Nobody, right? So that
Mm.
song was played. He played it like every night, and people loved it. So he created a trend with that, like first with the K-pop thing, and also like get some people to drink champagne to make it more upper class,
Mm.
yeah, more classy. Like go away from that standing table and not moving mentality for club goers. Yeah, so I learned
So
a lot from him. Yeah,
when you're a promoter, what exactly is it that the owner is asking you to do?
bring in customers
Yeah.
and take care of
How does
them,
that happen?
be friends with them. Uh, I'm very easygoing, so I can talk to a lot of people like with Kios, like yeah, overseas Vietnamese, like from the States, from Europe, and also Westerners. Like yeah, always had like yeah, that gift like to connect with people, just talk to them and become friends. And yeah, like hey, what you doing tonight? Hey, want to come to bounce and hang out? Okay, and I get commission on the bill, all kind of stuff. And after that, like go to eat with them. Yeah,
Make real friends.
yeah, make it's like that was when I realized, okay, nightlife, this even like club more, it's very good to make connections, network, because like yeah, some customers were like really VIP, like one like driving a Lamborghini, like Lamborghini Gallardo, and that back in the day 2008, that was quite something. And with like the crazy import taxes on luxury cars, that the
Yeah.
cars like 3 times what it is in the US or Germany, and like
Easy $500,000.
yeah, half a
Yeah.
million dollar. And for that guy, it's like nothing. And like was when I realized, hey, Vietnamese people are quite rich, and there are some really big ballers, and knowing them and hanging out with them, yeah, meet their friends, and yeah, take care of them. Sometimes it just as like normal things. They're not like stuck up or whatever. Like in Germany, I've never met like a millionaire before, right?
Mm.
Because usually they're older, and you can't go like to a public place and like meet a millionaire and like go with him and like, hey, what's up? How you doing? What's your name?
Yeah.
All this stuff that only can happen in Asian countries. And yeah, connect and then talk about like football. Like okay, like a menu and all that stuff. And yeah, they asked me like, hey, okay, you grew up in Germany and stuff. Okay, which teams you think are good? And sometimes ask me like, hey, what do you think how this match is going to end and stuff? Like, okay, in my opinion, with that, okay, this will be the result. Some are lucky and some they made money, and then like they like me. Okay,
Yeah, that makes
yeah.
sense.
Simple things, yeah. And also like to understand what customers want or connect with them. Yeah, how
And
to start the conversation.
at that time, did you think like, because many times when we're in the action of doing whatever the work is, we don't really think about the broader implications of what life is going to sort of throw at us after like a year or two or three doing that business, right?
Yeah. Um, Also a big thing. I think I should mention like okay, 2008 when I went back to Vietnam after half a year in September 2008, I got in a really big car accident. Yeah. Um, yeah, we partied with a friend of mine, and then we went to his villa in District 2. He's Swedish, yeah. He's Swedish, and yeah, rich parents, and then like hang out in the swimming pool and stuff. And like around 2 a.m., everyone got hungry and stuff, and we couldn't order food, so decided to go to the city. And he was driving, but yeah, I
He was
only
driving a
remember,
car.
yeah, a car like a SUV.
Mhm.
I remember, Ford Everest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he was drunk.
Not sure if I was drunk or didn't pay attention. I only remember I was sitting behind him. I was already like half asleep. I was so tired. And yeah, I remember like the other guys like telling him like, "Hey, faster, faster!" And yeah, he drove faster, and like and then the next thing I knew, like okay, we're like in midair, the car's flipping over, and yeah, after that the car was upside down, and we crawled out of the wreck, and I crawled out, and like my back, my left shoulder, like was bleeding. Yeah, and then like we looked up at him, and half of his face was like hanging down, and I oh damn. And then we had to bring him to hospital, and I had to go to hospital, and yeah, had to stay there for a long time, and I had to stay there like for 1 day, and yeah, they had to remove like some yeah.
Did he make it, the
That's,
driver?
yeah, yeah, he made it. Actually, like I've heard like yeah, his face looks like almost like normal. It's like really crazy. Like they grew like a synthetic ear in his forearm, and then like put it back on, and yeah, really crazy stuff I've heard. Yeah,
Uh,
but he's okay. Yeah,
Swedish
but
Vietnamese or
no,
Swedish?
Swedish. Yeah, yeah.
Holy
So that
cow.
was quite the experience. I was like in the state. Oh damn. I haven't told my parents. I couldn't tell my parents that. I couldn't tell my dad like, hey, I almost died. He would have booked a flight ticket right away and get me or something like that. But I didn't want to give up. But I didn't know like what to do. It was like, okay, I have to stop working for a while. And okay, what am I going to do? And I was staying in this apartment building with a friend I thought was a friend, but for him it didn't go well as well. And somehow he didn't pay the rent, and then the landlady was chasing me for the rent. And like, hey, what about him? And it's like, okay, he left, and like, oh shit, okay. So everything happened at once.
Once,
That
yeah.
was in 2008, like a really crazy. People always say like, whenever it's your year, zodiac sign, I'm a rat, right? So
Yeah, it's a bad year.
96, and then like 2008, and like last year 2020, it will be your worst years. And I start to believe that, yeah. So there was like yeah, back then it was like my worst year of my life, yeah. So it was mainly like at home, staying at home, and didn't want to do anything. And then when I recovered slowly, go back to the club, yeah, I just felt like, okay, get drunk and whatever. I feel like, okay, it can be your last day, so why bother, right? So why should I bother think about the future long term? Why should I bother like, okay, not get drunk or have fun right now and all this stuff? Yeah, and it dragged on like for maybe 6 months, 9 months. Yeah, without any direction, but like after a while, like slowly you think, ah, maybe you should rethink your life and see it as a second chance. Maybe, yeah, God or someone else, yeah, some higher spirit, and someone, yeah, gave you a second chance. Maybe you should take it and do something with your life. Yeah, I realized that like after over half a year, 9 months, only like going out and not caring about anything. Yeah, and somehow, yeah, I thought, okay, now being a club promoter, that won't get me any anywhere for far. I can't do that all my life, you know. It's not good for my body, and yeah, so I have to move forward. So I met a guy who always came to the club, and we talked. He's like from Europe as well, like Netherlands, and he told me like, hey, Alan, like you're a cool guy. You're so good with people and stuff. I want to create like an events company. I do my own events, own parties, and I think you would be the perfect match for that. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Why not? And that's when we did the company together, just me and him, and like some helpers, and talk to like club owners, like slow nights or whatever, and create like a party, like a monthly party or a theme night, like a white party or something like that, in that direction with themes, and like advertise on Facebook, which was really new
Yeah.
back then, 2009. No one was using it, but yeah, Westerners use it. So yeah, we
mostly cater like to the expats in Vietnam, and yeah, they like it, like different ideas, not the same stuff every day, every time, So they liked it, and yeah, all price like attracting like 500 people through the door, sold out tickets. So it was okay money, and then like okay, that's actually good, and also like getting more like management skills instead of like taking orders from above, like yeah, giving out orders. Yeah, that was quite the experience. And then yeah, he decided to move on and like take a job at a spirits company. One of our sponsors back then was like, if I can name names, I better not name like names, right? So yeah, took the job, but for me, I declined it. I didn't want to end up like in a spirits company.
Yeah.
I'm drinking like yeah, almost every day already. So like okay, I want to look for something else. And I think like yeah, there was one like Thomas who was running Bounce introduced me like to some friends of mine from Singapore who had like this consultancy firm. Like yeah, they were consulting like big brands in Southeast Asia and Singapore, and also Vietnam needed help, like cigarettes company. So I tried not to name names. So okay, a cigarette company and like some fashion brands. Yeah, and yeah, I got introduced and they liked me. They said like, hey, you have a great network and we want to do like super VIP parties. Okay, invite only, and it has to be special. I'm like, okay, I know some people like that. And like, okay, then they came up with all these crazy ideas because you can't openly advertise like, okay, this is a cigarette brand, whatever. So they had to work like with colors, shapes, and something that you can relate to that brand.
Wow.
So people come in like, hey, this looks actually like that, but it doesn't say like a word on it, like in your face.
What
And yeah,
year
they
was
were
that?
really smart, and I learned a lot from them, like about that.
Yeah. What year was that?
That was in 2010.
So in 2010, why couldn't you use the words to advertise the brand?
In Vietnam, like censorship, you
Mm.
can't like just like okay, the brand name, like put it like somewhere like yeah, super obvious. Yeah, and advertise for
For,
cigarettes
for
and
cigarettes,
spirits
okay.
openly.
That's
Also
pretty
for
cool.
spirits like hard liquor, like 40% and up, like vodka, cognac, and all that stuff. You can advertise that. You can advertise like beer, of course, like low percentage, like alcohol percentage of 5%, but 40% and up now. You can't do that.
And
Yeah, it
is it
was
still
against
like
the
that
law.
now?
I think it is. I don't see
Yeah.
like it openly being. You don't see any like Ciroc.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, Ciroc
I think that's a kind of a
campaigns like
good
outside of
thing,
stuff.
don't you, Alan?
Yeah, I think
Good,
so as well.
great thing for
Because like the youth,
society.
yeah, yeah, especially like yeah, take responsibility because like if you put up billboards like everywhere where everyone can see that, the kids will see that and they see like in a store or whatever, and they're like, hey, and in Vietnam it's so easy to buy that stuff if you
Yeah.
have the money, right? And yeah, they see that everywhere they go, and all of a sudden like, hey, maybe I should try it. Maybe they get hooked to it. So that's not good. Yeah.
Man, I'm like really fascinated with the nightlife in Vietnam because I go back quite a bit, but I don't partake in the nightlife. I don't go out, and it's not part of my thing for maybe the last 12, 13 years. I don't. The music is so loud at the clubs and the energy is so
Yeah.
young that it's hard for me now in the last, I don't know, 12, 13 years to really be a part of that. And the energy is so strong, in Vietnam. The music is loud and they're so crowded. It's just very difficult. But at the same time, I'm fascinated by the things that are happening on the inside of it because it's economics and it's business and it's fun to
Yeah.
hear about. But all that being said, I think I want to spend a little bit more time on it. But then I really want to get into your work in the crypto and your game space that we came for. We came for that stuff, but we're here to. We've also heard a lot about how you've lived in the real world, if you will, right? The real life, and I want to hear how you transitioned from this clubbing world to where you are today with the NFT and the game stuff at Sipher.
Okay. So
Yeah, so me and Din, the founder of Sipher, so we had like 2 nightclubs together, Sin Lounge and Ace Nightclub. And after that, when we quit nightclub, he
Why'd you
created like
quit?
economy was going down. So yeah, we had to move on. And yeah, he had this new project called Trimplex, which was like a WeWork, the first WeWork in Vietnam. And yeah, I helped him in the beginning, and after that I left. And yeah, Trimplex was the place that hosted former US President Barack Obama. So it was quite up to
Wait,
the
Dreamplex?
standard.
I'm so sorry. Dreamplex is the convention center kind of thing?
No, Trimplex is like WeWork, like
Okay.
co-working space. Yeah.
At,
Yeah.
at and at that WeWork at that space, what do you mean you hosted Barack Obama?
When Barack Obama came to Vietnam, so he visited Dreamplex to
Got it.
the speech about like entrepreneurship and like share like his experience with all the young people. Yeah, and Dreamlex was like the location that was screened and like considered like up to the standard, safe and everything. Yeah, so we did a
Wow.
good job building it. I didn't it, but then like I left before it opened. I still followed nightlife because it was still in my blood. So I still did like nightlife and did like another club XOXO, which was very successful for 1 year. But there was like one big incident. I don't know if you heard about it, but yeah, that's maybe like one of my other worst days in my life. Yeah, except for the car accident. My really good friend, the director of the Kong movie,
Yes,
uh,
I do
Jordan
remember.
Vogt Roberts, he got assaulted in my club by some gangsters, and yeah, he got hurt really bad, and there was really bad PR and everything. And it was just like so much, so much bad things like happened like around it after that, and yeah, we were forced to close. Too much pressure.
Oh wow.
And
So they force you to close after that.
yeah, the landlord, he put a lot of pressure on us. After 1 year only, it's a 3 year contract, but 1 year we had to move out, and we were the hottest club and the highest grossing club, and also we sold the most. Okay, now I have to name names. You can cut it out. Maybe it's not like advertising, but Luc Belair, like that was endorsed by Rick Ross and DJ Khaled and all this stuff, and yeah, we sold so much that even DJ Khaled, no, not DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, he sent us like his a shout out, like thanks XOXO and stuff, like supporting the brand, selling the most bottles ever, and like, oh yeah, cool. And yeah, the sponsor also let us bring like Sean Kingston. Remember Sean Kingston? Yeah,
Mhm.
he
Yeah,
played at our
performer.
space, and we attracted like some good celebrities. Like the good thing with nightclub, you meet like so many people. That's the fascinating thing about it. Yeah, my nightclub, I was like lucky to meet like 3 billionaires, and they were really nice. Yeah, could talk to them. Like I said, I met like my very good friend back then, like Jordan Walk Roberts, and on my birthday he introduced me to someone like I really looked up to, who was like director Gareth Edwards, who directed Star Wars Rogue One. Yeah, one of the best Star Wars spin-offs. Like,
Mm.
okay, don't count like the latest prequels, but Rogue One was such a great movie, and I mean the director was like a dream, like for me, like Star Wars, the whole universe, everything. And back then, I also had the dream to become an actor and then meet like these big names that in the industry. It was like just great, yeah.
Wow, I can't imagine what that felt like to have gone through that experience of having one of this highly valued guests get
Yeah.
beat up in your club.
Yeah, and they're like just like normal people. You see them like in magazines or like online. You think, okay, they're unreachable, but then when they talk to you, they're super nice and like
Yeah,
just like normal people.
down to
Also,
earth.
like before at Ace, we met like Eve with her husband. Yeah, good old Eve. She was really cool. Yeah, and all
Yeah.
these people. Yeah, and also like Lil Jon. Lil Jon was funny. Yeah, when he was at my club. Yeah, it was like
Wow.
so fun.
Yeah, it
Yeah, to
sounds
hang
like
out with. We drank with him, and he was like, "Wow, wow, wow!" It was like genuine, you know. Some people think like, okay, he's like acting up, like all this, what, but he's like, "Wow, wow," all the time because like it was like a shock for him, like seeing like, okay,
how is in Vietnam, like, okay, high class, and everyone is like drinking like these big bottles, these big formats, and we gave him like a 6-liter vodka bottle. He's like, wow, no, how big is this? And all this stuff. And he was like so surprised. And we like, that's normal. That's what people order here. And how can they drink it? They don't. They drink it, show off, and then they give it back to us to put it in the storage. And next week they come back or tomorrow to show off again. Yeah, funny experiences. Yeah,
Yeah,
then after XOXO, I did another one, Sky, with the same shareholders. Actually, funny story. Like one of the shareholder, he used to have like a different club, and back then we were kind of like competitors. But like how like things in life sometimes go a different way, a weird way, and then like we became good friends and like partners, built up like the most successful club. Yeah, that's how things go. Yeah. Then
what was Sky?
Sky was like the there was the emergency solution after we had to close down XOXO and find another location to build a new club, because we didn't want the staff like to lose the job. So we hired like a spot like right above XOXO, but very small, 160 square meters. It's like for 13 tables, like 100 people only. And that's very tough to operate. And also like restroom, only one restroom up there. And then for more you had to go downstairs to stairs. It was just an emergency solution to bridge like the time until the new club is almost ready, or the time between like for 6 months. And yeah, we just wanted to keep our staff, because it wasn't their fault for what has happened. Yeah.
The situation at XOXO with that big fight, like how do you resolve something like that? Because I'm sure you probably knew everybody involved, right?
Yeah, actually, I still don't know like who the guy was who started it. I think like he was a friend of the person who booked the table and from overseas. Yeah, he's not a local. Haven't seen him before. No one has seen him before, and yeah, just a troublemaker.
Did he get in trouble with the authorities, or did he get away?
That was the thing. After that, like the police knocked on our doors and like investigating all this stuff. We had to stay at the station there one whole day, give all the context. Okay, who was the person booking the table, blah blah blah, camera footage and all this stuff. But in the end, they never found like the guy who actually hurt my friend. Yeah, so he's not from here. Yeah, so he left to wherever he came from. Got away. And sometimes it's bad.
Yeah, that's such a unfortunate thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that director is still dealing with that accident, physical accident, right?
Yeah, he wanted to stay here in Vietnam and was looking for a place for him to stay, a nice place for him to build up. Like, yeah,
He really loved the country.
He loved the country. He was like the ambassador of tourism here. Yeah,
Yeah,
supposed to be. Yeah, also settled down here and like connect like more people from Hollywood to Vietnam.
that would have been,
yeah, that would have been
great.
like great for the country as well. But yeah.
Unfortunate. Yeah.
Unfortunate. Yeah.
I remember I met him.
But at least like everyone is healthy.
Yeah. So after the Sky Club, is that a signal for you to get out, or you keep going?
I did like one more club called Sing Sing. There was like more like a big, it was like more like a big club. It's like over 500 square meters. Yeah, that's quite sizable for Vietnam. Usually you expect like customer around 300 people a night. It's not like big like in Germany, like warehouses or like in the States, but that's quite sizable for Saigon.
Yeah, 300.
And yeah, there was like a big investment, and it was like was supposed to be like the last one. And
how long did you have it for?
Sing Sing was almost 2 years.
And was it as successful as XOXO?
No, not as successful.
What do you think?
Still remember XOXO? Like,
why do you think that's what was the difference?
Because with every new venue, you have to reinvent yourself. Otherwise, people will get bored. You can't take like all the same design or furniture from XOXO and put it in another place and
expect it to
expect people to think it's the same thing. Yeah, people moved on. It has been closed for such a long time. Other clubs have opened up. Now you have to do something new again. That's the thing with nightlife in Vietnam. Like
or
the
anywhere.
lifespan of a club, yeah, it's very, very short nowadays. Like back then, Sin, it was already like 42 months. So yeah, over 3.5 years, that's a long time in Vietnam.
I
Then
think in anywhere.
Ace,
Yeah. Even in
yeah,
LA. Yeah.
yeah,
3.5 years is a long
Ace,
time.
Ace also 36 months. And nowadays, like I see like some
A
close
year.
after like 2 weeks, some like 3 months or 6 months.
2 weeks.
Yeah, sometimes people see after in the first month, like, okay, because it's not cheap. Rent in Vietnam is not cheap. If you count per square meter, it's quite high.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite high. So dense in the cities. Oh yeah, if you can't get enough revenue to cover your running costs and everything, then yeah, better cut your losses as early as possible. If you drag it on, you can lose a lot of money. But usually, like club owners without experience, they have the money. So those are the ones that usually fail. That are like your former VIP customers who think like, okay, I can do my own thing. It can't be that hard, and it's a tough business. I tell you, yeah. People only see like they don't see the backstage, but yeah, it's kind of tough,
It's
especially for me as a foreigner. Like, okay, I look Vietnamese, but still, like, there are some things I can't take care of. That's why, like, when people ask me advice, I did like some consulting as well. I always tell them like about, okay, nightlife business in Vietnam, you need like 4 pillars or 4 walls. So the first one is like the experience and expertise. You have to know what you're doing, trends, what people might like. The second thing would be like finances. Okay, you need like the money to endure. And also like, okay, you expect to build a club with 500,000, better have 1 million left. So whatever's extra on that, count it in, you know. Don't, okay, have 500,000. Okay, now you need another 50,000. You don't have it. Okay, shut everything down. Now, third thing would be a relationship with the landlord, which is the best, so they can take away the property. The government, of course, yeah, so they don't bother you too much, like the authorities, not the government, yeah. And the fourth thing is basically like a reputation. Okay, how do people see you? Are you a likable person? You can be the richest motherfucker in Vietnam, but you're a douchebag. No one likes you. No one goes to your club. So that's your reputation. So, and no one wants to work for you. So that wouldn't work. So you need those 4 things. That's what I
so interesting.
always tell people.
Yeah. And then
it's very tough for one person to have all 4 pillars. I have like maximum 2. I never can have like the relationship like with authorities and stuff. As a foreigner, you need a local to do that. So that's why like I would say like perfect number of like partners, like 3 to 4 partners, and to cover all 4 pillars. That's the best. Yeah. Too many opinions doesn't work. You alone, you can't handle the workload. Yeah.
So you know, it's crazy, Alan. Like if I can rewind to like first started the first 20 minutes of our conversation, it's like I think about like you being a 19, 20-year-old kid with no direction. And then fast forward to the conversation right now, and we're talking about such very technical pillars about having a club, because only somebody who's done it for many years can understand that there's 4 pillars and you have to have this, because if you don't have it, you're going to come up with a lot of problems. And I completely understand.
Will come down. Yeah, the house of cards will crumble.
Yeah,
will fall down. Yeah.
And
yeah, even like me and my friends, like who we've been in this business, it's so funny. People always like, okay, hey, you're free for coffee. I want to show you a location. What do you think about it and all that stuff? And here's a presentation. I, it's funny. I reply to 95% of them. Like, my advice for you, don't do it.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, like I said, it's really tough. It looks easy from the outside, but from the inside, you need to know a lot of stuff. And the funny thing, we were right, you know, like to these friends or people who ask for advice. And like one day, like we calculated stats like, hey, if we would have taken like a consultancy fee of 10% or whatever, we could have saved these people like over 5 million USD. 5 million USD just gone, like invested in some
Months.
nightlife venues that didn't work out. Even you could see it from the beginning. It's just like missing so much. But yeah, some people don't want to listen. Yeah, that's what I learned. So that's why I try to listen always now. Yeah.
And restaurants are the same way.
Yeah, restaurants are really tough. I never got into FB. That's not my strong point.
Yeah.
I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm not good at. Actually, like my partner also had like this idea like with a restaurant and asked me to join. I was like, sorry, that's not my strong point. I can't do that. Yeah, I won't be good at it.
Because it's not only just the experience, but it's also the taste that goes into your mouth. What you smell, what you eat, it's another dimension of experience that you have to bring to the table, that you have to be so good.
Yeah. And I'm so bad at that. I have to openly say it. Like my sense of smell is really bad, and I can eat anything. Like I'm very easy. So would be a very bad food critic and everything.
Yeah, it's the same thing. And people, when you are on the outside looking at a successful restaurant, you think that it's something that is doable. It's like, what's the big deal? No. There's like not 4 pillars. There's more like 20 pillars of
a restaurant. It's like really tough.
Business. It's I had 2 of them, and
wow,
they're
really
not
nice. Vietnamese ones.
A Vietnamese one, a small one, a pho restaurant, 1997, and then 20 years later, 2017, I had another one for. Both of them I had about for 18 months. The first one was okay. I sold it back to my there's family members I sold it back to, and the second one was a very tough one. It was recent.
But in restaurant business, your return on investment, you need like a long time, right?
Totally. You need a long runway, and you really need to know what you're doing. You need
nightclubs, it was the other way around. Back in the days, like all these sponsors, like liquor sponsors, they had so much money from overseas, and they gave you a lot, so you had your return on investment really quick. But now it's like, of course, tougher. And now like people invest so much more in clubs. Back in the days, you can do like a nice place for $250,000. And now you need like over 1 million. And then like the sponsorship deals are much less because tax on liquor is higher, everything, and rent is higher. It's like so tough now. That's why I had to move on. With Sing Sing, Sing Sing. The thing was we planned to change it up again one more time. Like we had like a Korean shareholder. The idea was like to do like a Korean super club, like in Seoul. There's like clubs like Octagon and B and all these places, Eden Club, Burning Sun. They're really hot, and we had so many customers, like Korean customers, and just like talking to them or analyzing, the spending power. It wasn't Vietnamese VIPs or Vietnamese rich kids anymore. It's like, wow, the Koreans. And our partner told us that, and we said, we checked the bill, and like, they don't care, like, because for them here in Vietnam, it's still like a 30-40% discount compared to Seoul, so it's much cheaper. So they order their high level stuff, Dom and whatever, Dom Perignon and all the expensive stuff, and they don't care, and they leave with a happy face, or they don't leave with like. Sometimes like some customers, they show off a lot and goes around or look at it. But when the bill comes out, then they take like 10-15 minutes to haggle about like $40 or something like that. Those customers are sometimes tiresome, And like Koreans are always like, always well dressed, always nice, and they have fun, they enjoy themselves, they dance, they don't sit around. And when the bill comes,
take care of it.
Done. Take care of, no complaints, no questions. That's right. You guys are not cheating me, I know that. That was the idea. And then COVID hit. So I went back to Germany in 2019 for Christmas, 2 weeks, and that was like when we were in negotiation, like with a new partner coming in who will invest a good amount of money in there and buy some of our shares. Some of my shareholders are lucky, they got completely out, and I was left with the biggest shares. And COVID, nothing going on. just like every month, expenses. And my Korean partner, yeah, he went MIA. He got some, personal issues. So I was all by myself and like, okay, talk to landlord, rent, staff. Okay, we can't keep them for too long. We can't pay them the salary. And then after that, we can pay them half the salary. That's a lot for Sing Sing. We had like staff like in the Excel file with accountants, storage managers, and everything. Is like, wow, security, almost 100 people, like 80 something people.
Holy
That's a lot.
shit.
Cleaning, promoters, accountants, yeah, security, valet. That's a lot. Yeah. So there was a big hit, and I was like, okay, 2020. Why? 12 years after, why it's always happening? Every 12 year, why is it happening? It can't be. How? Where does COVID come from? How can it be like that? Yeah, something that we thought like is untouchable. The nightlife industry is like will go on forever. It's always like a good business because people make money. They need to spend money every day. Yeah, they need a place to go out, show off, release some steam, drink. Yeah, but COVID has shown us otherwise. Anything is possible. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've all gotten smarter because of it.
Yeah, definitely. And but on the other hand, it opened like new doors for me. Like, oh yeah, coming to crypto. Actually, I started it like when I did XOXO already, like so in 2017, so 4 years ago.
It was a good time right there. 2007.
Not best. Like 2015, 2016 would have been the best time. 2017, it was a good time for the last part of the year. So yeah, I started off like a little like tried out like 10k euros there, and the exchange was very easy to deposit from my Singapore account. From Vietnamese account, it was impossible.
Yeah.
So I had to use my foreign account, and it was very easy. Deposit money on there and I trade some coins. And after 1 week, see your portfolio down 40%, and I wonder, wait, what's happening? Like, yeah, start out with like 10k, and then like after 6 days, oh, it's 6.1k. Then you don't know what happened. Hey, I bought like all these coins. Like people on Reddit and on the internet, they all said like it's the next big thing. It's the next Ethereum. It will go like 10 times, whatever. And all of a sudden your portfolio is down. And then there was a time when I said like, okay, I need to dig in.
Yeah.
I can't listen to other people. I have to do my own research. And then I got really involved. Every day was the same schedule, like reading about crypto, trade every day, and then I go to XXO, clubbing, friends, drink. Next morning, next afternoon, again, crypto trading. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, it was fascinating. I knew right from the start it will be the future, and I heard about it like in 2015 already, through the owner of Bitcoin.bn, which was one of the first websites for Bitcoin in Vietnam. He's German, so yeah, he reached out for me. He wanted to put like an ATM machine, like a Bitcoin machine at Trimplex. He thought like it would be good for these startups to get involved with Bitcoin, crypto tech, and stuff. Yeah, and yeah, through him I could have got involved when Bitcoin was really cheap, but I didn't bother. For me, it was like too complicated, and like a lot of people see now, like, oh, how does it work? Oh, this is your wallet address. What? It's all numbers and letters and like some capital, some not. No, that's too much trouble. But then in 2017, I realized, okay, then I get to a certain point. You are still a foreigner in a foreign country. I'm still like German in Vietnam, even if I look Vietnamese. So you have some restrictions about like banking, for example. And for me, it was like the main reason why I got into crypto, because like I withdraw money out of my bank account to buy something I didn't want to buy anymore. I want to deposit it back. And then all of a sudden they ask questions. Where does this money come from? What's the origin? And then I tell them, these are the same banknotes you gave me 2 days ago. And they say like, sorry, the money, it lost its source. I'm like, what the hell? So what I'm going to do with all the cash? I can keep it in my house with the maid and like small safe. And then yeah, and friend told me like, hey, crypto. I'm like, okay, how does it work? Yeah, you can buy crypto and send it anywhere. And for example, okay, you want your money back in Singapore? Okay, I can do it for you. And like, okay, what do I need to do? Okay, just give me the money, you cash whatever you have, and then I get deposit for you. And like, okay. And then like after 3 days, the money was back in my bank account, just like that, without any third party. No one out there to tell me what I can do with my money.
Amazing.
Yeah. Okay, I understand, of course, regulations, money laundering, or dirty money, drug money. But for people like me, it's our hard. We work for money really hard, and then all of a sudden there are restrictions on that. It's like it didn't feel right. So that's why it's like, okay,
Yeah,
I
but
go
in the
full on
beginning,
crypto.
it's hard to draw the lines because it's very complicated. Not enough people were kind of understanding the technology and the applications. So putting all of that, the rules down would require a lot of time. I don't even think we're a quarter of the way, where we should be with the, keeping things
Yeah, adoption. Yeah, it's still
adoption.
early. Yeah,
Very, very,
nowadays
very
people
early.
have it so much easier. Back then, for me, it was like really like copy paste. There wasn't even like a mouse click to copy like the whole
Yeah.
address. You have to put your pointer right at the beginning and drag it all the way to the end, and don't miss one letter. Otherwise, your funds are gone forever, limbo,
Yeah.
out.
Crazy.
Yeah,
And,
it's
and,
crazy.
but then it was a little bit easier in terms of like with Binance.com, it
Yeah, yeah,
was,
that
there
was a
was no
breakthrough.
taxes, there's
Yeah,
nothing, and there was no glitches. Like when I traded on Binance, 2000, end of 2017, the trades were very quick. It was
yeah,
fast, not a lot of people, and there was so many coins that were listed that you could
yeah.
make so much money on these trades. It was like forex trading.
No KYC, so
No
okay,
KYC.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
amazing.
okay, not all your details, only email address, and start right away.
Yeah,
I think that was like what made them really good. I was trading on Bittrex. It
yeah,
was like the biggest one back then, bit for all coins and everything. I bought like my Cardano, ADA, like the top 5 coin there, my first
yeah.
Cardano, and it was really good. And I was like in a group, like day traders, like only like handful, and you have like a separate group, and then they ask you, they know like you use the service every day, and they ask in the group like, okay, what should we change, blah blah. And like I said, like always, like sometimes you just have to listen. Like we told them like, okay, this is not good, this can be improved, and they were like just covering their ears. They're like, ah, no, we know better. And look where they're now, or where are not, where
Yeah,
they are not.
look where
Yeah.
they're not now. Yeah.
So everyone moved away from Bittrex to Binance, and Bittrex lost like a big lead. Yeah. That's why like never think you're like number one
The
and
one,
stay there.
yeah,
You have to keep up.
that's the
I
biggest.
always compare like everything. Once you pioneer the first one, never think like you will stay there forever. I always compare like with web browsers. Back then, it's like Internet Explorer,
Yep.
and there was nothing else. Everyone Internet Explorer. Like someone was like, "What? What is Firefox? What, Google Chrome? Are you kidding me? I want my Internet Explorer, right?" But
Look at it now.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah,
So how did you find your I think his name is Tin, right? You said?
yeah.
So how did
So me and Tin, we met at a club like in Vietnam, like 2008, I think, yeah, around that. When he was still like studying in Melbourne, Australia. So
Mhm.
he came back to Vietnam for a visit, and we went out, had some mutual friends, and yeah, it clicked. We connected, like okay, talking about stuff. Like he likes like music, dancing as well, and games and all that stuff. And yeah, we kept in touch. And then when he decided to come back and do like his own bar, Sin Lounge, and when it wasn't doing that well, like the first half year, and then I just got out of the consultants company from Singapore, he asked me like to join. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. We need to change some things, and I think this people will like. We went to Singapore together. We partied together in Singapore, like Souk Out, like one of the biggest festivals, like with all the number one DJs and stuff. So
Mhm.
we have seen a lot of things. We are very well traveled, or where pretty well traveled. I went like like all European countries and the clubs there. The US, I didn't go clubbing there, but yeah, I've seen a lot. And he in Australia, Singapore, and all that stuff. And yeah, we went there and seen like, okay, people drink champagne, and these good-looking girls come up with sparklers and stuff. Hey, we like that. And that's what we brought back to Vietnam and created a trend with the champagne culture and stuff. So we always had like a good connection. Like everything we touched, was successful. Only till like we had to close our two clubs and split ways. So he was still taking care of his main business, real estate development and Trimplex, and I still like Nightlife until like beginning of this year. He got into crypto just beginning of this year. It moves so fast, like in January. Yeah, he asked me again before 4 years ago, 3 years ago. He asked me already like, how do I invest in Ethereum or stuff? Can you buy from with your Singapore account and all that stuff? But it was like too cumbersome, too complicated. So yeah, he didn't follow through. But like beginning of this year, he realized, okay, crypto is the future, and he wanted to do something in the space. So he came up with the idea of Sipher because like he had like really good artists, from his company, mother company, and make use of them during COVID, I think. And he always like reads a lot, so he can like soak up like knowledge and everything like really quick. I would even say like in certain areas he knows more than me after me with 4 years, but other things like with blockchain and stuff, he knows more already than me, like reading into that. And he soaked it all up, and he thought like,
he started at the beginning of this year.
Yes.
2021.
Like 10, 11 months ago. Yeah.
Wow. And we're in December right now. And so he didn't know much about crypto or anything like that.
Yeah, he didn't dig deep like this year. Yeah.
Okay, so he has this idea for a company, which is called Sipher.
Yeah, a project, more like a project.
And
a project, but it was more, there were like some ideas in the beginning. He told me about it, what I think about it. Like Sipher in the beginning, he wanted to go like one direction for Sipher to become like your personal assistant, like your Siri, but like with a cute dog avatar and stuff, like more fun, with a friendly face, something fun. And he sent me like the first drafts, the first designs, and like, okay, it looks cute. Then like we talked about the idea, like he mentioned like, hey, what if we turn this character into a game, metaverse, and all that stuff? And then like he researched like for some designs and art directions. Some were like kind of more dark, dystopian, like with the dog, the Inu, like more like human-like, like tall, fit, really masculine and all that stuff, but the cute comic figure. But then when the Inu, the Sipher Inu, like you can see now, was like created, like that was like around May, I think. May. And I said like, hey, I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's very appealing to a lot of people.
So in May, you all kind of like finalize the imagery, not even the back end, sort of like how this is all going to work.
No, that was like 6 months ago, and then that's when it started out. And think about like a game, okay, who to reach out and create a team and make it official. And investing before we got any investors, because for us, I think we knew like, okay, this is going to be a future. It was only about like, okay, onboard the right people and do it the right way. And with his experience and his skills with management and being a CEO of a big company, like with hundreds of people, so he can get the talent there. And for me, it was like about the vision and also like the trends and all that stuff. So combining both together, we were back one team, and the rest is history. We moved forward. He was willing to put out like the money up front for everything needed without any guarantee that he will get it back. But it was just like we really got into like a trance, like a passion, like every day, like being involved with Sipher, talking about things, looking for things, what can we do, and all this stuff. And we decided like to do this game because we are big gamers back, and he played a lot of Overwatch, and I think like Dota. I played like Wild Rift and all kind of games, like mobile games mainly. And like blockchain games were kind of similar to mobile games, like in terms of simplicity. So you don't have like a crazy graphics AA titles like I don't know, Battlefield or something like that, like high graphics or stuff. Very simple, but too simple in our opinions. It just felt like for us as gamers, there was like no blockchain game that we enjoy to play. So there was nothing out there. There were like some projects in the making, like Star Atlas and Luyum, like looks really cool, but yeah, the development like takes like a long time to do something good, like years, right? It can't be like within 1 year or half a year. So we were thinking with the resources we have and with what's missing on the market and what we like to play, something like fun with friends like Brawl Stars we played and Smash Legends and all this stuff. We thought like, okay, something casual like that. We think it should be fun if we add in some like lore and like world building story and all that stuff, like build a whole world around it, would be fun. Like have people have the game, they have the story, they get really involved, and after that, the metaverse, they can hang out, talk to each other, invite each other to their homes and show off their NFT collection in their metaverse, all that stuff. Yeah, like limitless opportunities. Yeah.
So now you're trying to figure out the world of Sipher, right? It's its own sort of universe, right?
Yes, it is. Like I mentioned before, like big Star Wars fans, me and him, and all fans of everything, like with a big world lore, like Game of Thrones, Warhammer, and all this stuff. All these worlds, universes are fascinating.
Clubs are a world, right? Nightclubs are a world. It's all of it is a world that you create as an experience.
Yeah, but it's still in the real world, so you are like limited, like to things you can't.
The concepts are kind of the same, no? The ideas of like people's experiential values are now being sort of designed by a team.
Yeah. So yeah, but of course, like with this idea metaverse, we can, limitless opportunities, and we really want to flesh it out, make it a brand. Like aiming for our Star Wars is of course too high, but like really build a world, like having like comics, animation. So we invest a lot in that, but we think like it's needed. And luckily, like just recently, like one animation just released, Arcane. It's from League of Legends, and the critics are crazy about it. Like it's like people love it. It's like what they all want. And we had this idea like a couple months ago already. And so we know like, okay, we're going in the right direction. And we believe that people liked it. Okay, nowadays, like, for example, look at IPs like Pokemon or Walt Disney in general, right? They have like all this stuff around there. It's not only like the animated series, cartoons and all this stuff. They have merchandise, they have events, they have cosplay, they have comics, they have, anything. Yeah.
How do you measure success in terms of bringing on more money, more like at what point do you say, okay, we got to make this much in order to develop more? How does it's so nebulous and so cloudy when I think about the structure of where you're going with, because it feels like it's infinity. You can just keep developing this sort of world forever and ever and ever. Where do you stop and you go, okay, we have to stop and we have to make money? How does this all work?
In terms of financial success, I think we were really lucky. Our investors are great. We onboarded like one of the best investors in the crypto space. Everyone well known. 18 of them, 3 lead investors and 15 strategic ones. And they're all like specialists. They've all been around, so they give like really good advice and everything. And we closed like the seed round, the first round, with 6.8 million, which is enough like for game development for 2 years. Game development costs a lot a month.
Wow. And this is all being developed in Vietnam, programmed out of Vietnam.
Yeah, we are mainly based in Vietnam, but we outsource a lot. We have to make use of the money, and we have to fast forward things. Yeah, it's not about like cutting costs or whatever. It's about like delivering like at the highest quality and the highest speed. So we have like game developers from Indonesia, UX UI designers from the States even, who are like involved with like big AAA titles, and Singapore, Southeast Asia, all over the place. Yeah.
What's your timeline?
We have like 80 people. Yeah.
What's your timeline for, any benchmarks?
Yeah. So next month, in 3 weeks, we will have like our public token sale, the Sipher token. So that will be a big step, like also for price discovery. So people, okay, let's see like how big is the hype? How do people evaluate like our brand, like where we position it, and how even more big investors see us after that, and maybe they want to involve and go in the Series A to involve more, be more involved and invest more before it's too late. And after that, it's like only focus like on the game and bring out new races, new game mechanics. And so financial success is kind of it's kind of tough to say what is enough, but we have enough like to build a game that we want. But the real success, I think, is like, okay, we create something like a game, a metaverse, like that's for everyone, like from young to old, and all over the world. We don't only say that, okay, it's only for the Western market or the Asian market. And you don't even have to like, okay, play with your friends against enemies. You can play against each other, or you just go there and hang out, like go to the virtual bar. We already planned, because Nightlife is like still our background. We already planned like to have like a bar where people can hang out, have some drinks, and they can go to each other places. They can play mini games together. It's just like what you do with your friends here. Go to a coffee shop, have a talk, have some drinks, but you do it in the metaverse. So that would be like the final goal. That would be like the real dream. And everyone is having a good time, like escape reality for a bit. Like the story I told you, like with one of my customer who was so sick of his boring job, and spent so much time in game. Sorry,
Is that a cat?
Yeah.
I was wondering where that was coming from. I was like, is that my no cats around here?
My Neko, my Sipher Neko.
So I mean, it's like there's game components. So you guys are selling NFTs, and there's tokens. So there's all of this sort of like world building mechanisms that you have to build, and it just takes some time to kind of get that adoption. Is there other sort of competition coming out of Vietnam, or you're not? This is not even a Vietnamese thing. This is more a global.
Yeah, it's a global thing. Blockchain games are globally. No, for us, like there's no competition. It's not like, okay, other people don't do like games like us, or want to do games, but for us, it's about like growing the space together. It's like same with back then with a nightlife business. Like some people see us as competitors, but we always think like, okay, we focus on our own stuff, and it's good if we grow the market together, right? So it's not like, okay, you have like one big cake, and okay, everyone tries to get the biggest slice of it. Why don't create like more cakes,
And I'll tell you why. I think here's my view on that question. Just like the club space, like if you invite me, I can only be at one place at one time, right? I can't go to two clubs. If you invite me to Sipher and there's another place, I can't be at two places. So it is a finite number of people that, and if you build a better world, then I'm going to hang out there, So I think that's where that competitive sort of model.
I understand that, but after being so long in nightlife, I also don't expect people like to go to your place like 24/7, like 7 days a week. Maybe they can go 2-3 days, but they need like some
other place
variety.
Good point.
And that's a good thing, because then they don't get sick of you too much, and they appreciate it if they come back. They went to some other place, maybe that's missing something, lacking something that you provide them. Then they come back, they're happy. Okay. But if you keep them all the time at your place, I remember like we had like one VIP guest. I think he set the record. He came to Sin Lounge 10 days in a row. So not 1 week, but 10 days. It was like from Friday to Wednesday, something like that. Like crazy.
Oh, it's insane.
And like, hey, 10 days. It's 1/3 of the month. Like, yeah. But that's like some exceptions. I think like life, real life or the virtual life, you need like a lot of flavors, so you don't get bored, and that's what makes everything interesting. So for competitors, we don't see anyone like as real competitors or hindering our progress, whatever. We're happy like to be friends with everyone and like build this space together. Because it's still early. I would understand it like, if it's too overcrowded or anything, but we're still at the very, very early stage. So at the early stage, you have to build you have to build everything up first, and then
like how I imagine things are right now is like we are on the outside of the virtual space. We're standing on the outside. We're programming doing everything from the outside. We're thinking about art, like NFT from the outside, tokens from the outside, and we're thinking about it and we're building it. But we haven't really built a portal to go into that world so we can, like you said, hey, come on into my house and look at the NFT collections on my wall, right? We haven't, that sort of like that actual space has not been designed yet. We're just coming up with the accoutrements, the single pieces like an NFT or token, things that we can sort of understand the utility of it right now, but the actual like the metaverse of it is not being done yet. And so I guess my question is, do you see at some point somebody creating a metaverse like the way Facebook is thinking of it, and then we have to bring Sipher into that metaverse to exist inside of it? Or is Sipher going to build its own Sipher is going to build its own metaverse, and then you have to go into the Sipher metaverse? How does this work?
We build our own metaverse, of course, like welcome everyone, but I wouldn't say like, okay, because we have our own metaverse, you won't see Ciphers in other metaverses, like for example, Sandbox, which is open for everyone. Like I wouldn't say like you will never see like a Cipher character walking around in Sandbox or Decentraland or stuff like that.
Mana, right?
Yeah, Mana. I think like that's the beauty of the metaverse. Like you don't have limitations. You can be anywhere, wherever you feel like. You can be present anywhere and wherever you feel the most comfortable at. Yeah, so many choices.
What a great conversation to have this year. I'm so happy to have engaged with this conversation to hear about your life, because you could see the progression of somebody who's looking for their way, and you go to Vietnam and you get involved in the nightlife, but then it takes you back to the virtual life. And what a beautiful story.
It is. Like, life is full of wonders, and you never know where you go. It's like Forrest Gump, right, with the chocolate box.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Alan, thank you so much today. I've learned a lot, and I hope that in a few more months we can get back on and talk about maybe have both you and Tin on to talk about Sipher and sort of. I know 6 months will be a long runway to develop. The business model would be totally different in 6 months, and I'm looking forward to maybe again getting both of you on and sitting and having a chat.
Yeah, that would be great.
Awesome.
My pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Kenneth. It was a great talk, man.
All right, Alan. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to The Vietnamese with Kenneth Nguyen. The Vietnamese is produced by Brittany Tran and Javier Proenza. Special thanks to Jane Nguyen, Catherine Nguyen, Tina Pham, Sydney Jamie, and Christo Trin. Please find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at The Vietnamese Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, where you can subscribe, like, and comment. Please rate and give us a review wherever you find our podcasts. Thanks again for listening.